More analysis on this, and Mohamad Elmasry, who is Chair and Associate Professor in the Media and Cultural Studies Programme at the Doha Institute, and he joins us now. I just want to start by asking you, what do you think have sparked these protests, which are very rare in Egypt?
Well, I think in many ways things have been simmering for some time. There's a lot of discontent against Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. But there's no question that the most immediate instigator for all of this has been Muhammad Ali, as you said in your lead-up. He's released several videos over the last couple of weeks. They've resonated with Egyptians. They've been viewed millions of times. Several prominent anti-government hashtags have emerged, in which he has sort of led and spearheaded. So he's kind of the unlikely instigator in all of this, a man who is seen as an insider, who worked with the military for about 15 years as a contractor, who has a lot of intricate details about government corruption. But again, I think in many ways Egyptians were just sort of waiting for someone to spark them, or something to spark them. Things have been simmering for some time, as I said. There's a lot of discontent over Sisi's rule.
And do you think, Mohamad, that we could see a military crackdown? This is one of the biggest fears, of course.
Well, the Sisi government is the most brutal and repressive in Egypt's modern history, and that's really saying something, given the Egyptian track record of military dictatorship. They've killed many hundreds of protesters, unarmed protesters, in broad daylight on video. So clearly, they don't have any hesitation to use violence, unfortunately. And I think again that sort of speaks to the bravery of these people who are hitting the streets in spite of the fact that protests are illegal, and despite the fact that so many people have been killed. And your fear is one that I share. At any moment, the government could crack down, as it did back in 2013, when they killed, as I said, hundreds and hundreds of people. But if the protests grow and if they spread, right, if they're widespread across Egypt and many governorates, then it becomes much more difficult for the regime to contain, as we saw back in 2011.
And so do you think, I mean, because we've seen Cairo, Alexandria, Suez, and I'm sure there's other cities as well, that this could be the beginning of an uprising against the Sisi government?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's too early to tell, right? But this is how things started in 2011 as well. I mean, no one sort of predicted that there would be this mass uprising in 2011. And then, lo and behold, within 18 days, the regime of 30 years was gone. And so, or at least the figurehead of that regime, Mubarak, was gone. So I think it's too early to tell, but this is not a good sign for Sisi. He's someone who's projected confidence and stability and claimed that the entire Egyptian nation is with him. Clearly, they're not. And also, I think this speaks to probably some kind of fracture within the military apparatus. My personal view is that it's unlikely that Muhammad Ali is all alone. There are probably others inside the military apparatus who are behind him in one way or another.
All right. Mohamad Elmasry, thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on TRT World. Thank you.